podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy podcast. This show originally aired on the Premier Networks on Saturday, June 12th, 2021. This is episode 1804. Enjoy. The Tech Guy podcast is brought to you by Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/techguy. A little plug for Club TWiT. We've got a special membership club that we'd love you to join. $7 a month, supports all of our podcasts, and you get some real benefits. There's ad-free versions of all our shows, including this one. No ads, audio or video. There's also the Club TWiT Discord, a bunch of great people chatting about all sorts of things, and the TWiT Plus feed with content that never made it to any of the podcasts. Just special stuff that's fun and different, and all of that for just $7 a month. It really helps keep us on the air, and we really appreciate it. Join Club TWiT. Won't you go to twit.tv/ClubTWiT? And thanks. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the Tech Guy. Time to talk computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography, smartphones, smart watches, augmented reality, virtual reality, real reality. 8888 Ask Leo is my number. 888-827-5536. That's toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or up north above the 49th parallel there in Canada. 8888 Ask Leo. But if you are elsewhere, you could still call me, but you have to use Skype or something like that to call. Shouldn't cost you anything. 8888 Ask Leo. One thing we will not be talking about today is new Apple MacBooks. What? I was pretty sure we would be. But Apple, in their infinite wisdom, decided not to announce any new hardware on Monday when they had their keynote for the Worldwide Developers Conference. They announced a lot of other stuff, tons of other stuff. It's all software, though. It's an iOS 15, which will be out in the fall, and Mac OS Monterey. That's the new version of Mac OS, also out in the fall. And we'll talk about that when it comes out. No reason to talk about it now. There's some nifty new features, but no reason to get overexcited. We've got a few months before they'll be ready. They'll be fully cooked. I guess the question is, why no laptops? And it must have to do, I'm thinking, with the global chip shortage. I'll tell you why. Apple, as is its wont, posted, they streamed the keynote and then posted a copy of it on YouTube. And lo and behold, in the tags of the YouTube video, besides things like Apple and Mac OS and iOS, there was a tag for the Apple Silicon M1X chip, unannounced, and MacBook Pro M1X in the tags. That's Apple doing that, so I think that's a pretty good indicator that they were thinking that somebody didn't get the memo. They were thinking of announcing those, and just the memo didn't come out. So what does that mean? Because I have people, I know you have people. You may be those people waiting for the new MacBook Pros or maybe new Mac Minis or other new Macs. It's good news, I think, that they have a upgraded chip, a more professional chip, probably with faster graphics, maybe more processors. More importantly, maybe more access to memory. The current crop limited to 16 gigs of RAM and more ports. There's only 2 Thunderbolt ports, USB 4 ports right now on the current M1 Max. So the M1X, presumably faster, better, wider, uncut, whatever it is. You know, all the good adjectives. So I'm thinking they probably were thinking they were going to announce that. And for whatever reason, they thought we can't produce them. It's funny because there's rumor, it's all rumor driven in the Apple world. And I apologize because I was repeating rumors. I think I was clear that this is my speculation, but I was repeating the rumors. John Prosser, who's a well-known Apple rumor guy, but I think he's starting to lose his luster. He already had to shave his eyebrows because his rumor last time was wrong. He said, I can't remember what it was, but if there's not a new something or other, I think a new iPad, maybe, I don't know. I'll shave my eyebrows, and he'd had to. That was last Apple keynote. This time he said, I know there's going to be new MacBooks. No, there weren't. Another rumor guy, Love to Dream, said no hardware. But he said that the day of the event. So I think maybe, it's one of those things where Apple was thinking they were going to be able to do it and didn't. In the supply chain, it's very hard to get Apple employees to say anything because they know they'll be fired. And they know that Apple pulls all sorts of shenanigans to catch them leaking. For instance, putting out different code names. Steve Jobs did that, and I think it's still going on. Different code names to different people in different groups. And then if one of those code names leaks, they know, we got you. Yeah, we made that up. That was a test, and you failed. This show's code name, Professor Laura, Ice Station Leo. That's my code name. To see if it leaks out, I'll know it's Laura, or any one of you. So that didn't work too well. But Apple does that, and they do all sorts of things. They have their own internal police force. You could get thrown in Apple jail, which is probably just an empty white box. I don't know, but I wouldn't want to be there, not for very long. So you never hear anything from inside Cupertino. But the problem is Apple's reach doesn't extend all the way to China. There's no Apple jail in China. So we get what we call supply chain leaks. The people who are making the stuff leak it out. And according to the supply chain, production of new Apple laptops won't begin until Q3. That's next month at the earliest. July through September is Q3. So I've got friends, I've got family. I said, wait for the new Macs, and now they're mad at me. Maybe you are too. I apologize. Apple has let us down. Or maybe it's just the global chip shortage has let us down. That may be more likely. Apple buys its chips ahead of time, and they pretty much bought up the entire capacity of their M1 manufacturer, the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC. So that's not where the shortage lies, but Apple used lots of other little side chips and stuff in there. Everything does. Cars, everything. The global chip shortage is real, and the pain is real. Meanwhile, Apple's putting out ads saying your next computer is not a computer, showing these geeks, people like me. I actually completely resembled these people at their desks with all the wires and the monitors and all the stuff. Look, and they go to the window and they look out, and there's some nice young person doing everything they're doing with just a little tablet in their hand. I wish I had a computer. Your next computer won't be a computer. I don't know. I have an iPad. I don't think it replaces the computer, but there's a lot you can do with it. I think Apple's saying, well, if we can't get new Macs out, let's get people buying the iPad until we do. Those ads will change. As soon as the new Macs are ready, they'll go, your next computer is a computer. I don't know. Maybe they just decided, we don't need to make computers. We just make people want the iPad. Apple, this is an interesting story, a little politics on this one. Yesterday, Apple said, we received a subpoena from a federal grand jury February 2018, 3 years ago, more than 3 years ago, requesting data, Apple said, that belonged to a seemingly random group of email addresses and phone numbers. Except it wasn't that random. Turns out it was for the Democrats on the House Intelligence Committee. It's for Adam Schiff from the Trump Justice Department. Not only did they get the subpoena, the DOJ seized at least a dozen records from people close to the House Intelligence Panel. But not only did they get the subpoena, but they also got a gag order saying you can't talk about this. The gag order lifted May 5th of this year. And so Apple at that time alerted Eric Swalwell from California and Adam Schiff from California and others. We sent all your information to the government. Apple said, we regularly challenge warrants, subpoenas, and non-disclosure orders and have made it our policy to inform affected customers of governmental requests about them just as soon as possible. In this case, the subpoena, which was issued by a federal grand jury and included a non-disclosure order signed by a federal magistrate judge, provided no information on the nature of the investigation. It would have been virtually impossible for Apple to understand the intent of the desired information without digging through the user's account. Consistent with the request, Apple limited the information it provided to account subscriber information and did not provide any content such as emails or pictures. They provided what we call the metadata, but no actual content. Okay. Okie dokie. It says, based on the nature of the subpoena, they believe others received similar orders. Microsoft confirmed. Yeah, we got one too. We got one in 2017. So there you have it. It's important to understand that while companies, bang the drum of privacy and protecting you, you get a government order from this country or another country, you kind of have to, that's the law. You kind of have to do it. So just a, word of warning. This on top of the news that the FBI and the Australian police had created a fake encrypted messaging program and seeded it with all the drug dealers and criminals. And then they were using it for 3 years, not knowing the FBI and Australian feds could see what they were doing. And then they arrested hundreds of people last week saying, yeah, it wasn't that private. Ha ha. So just, it's good to know. Good to know. 8888 Ask Leo website, techguylabs.com. I'll put links to all those articles up on the show notes there. And we will get to your phone calls in just a bit. Scott Wilkinson coming up in a little bit too to talk about home theater. Johnny Jet's traveling. He's got the week off. Dick DeBartolo, the Giz Wiz, will be here with a gizmo. A smoother operator, Miss Kim Sheffer. Hello, Kimmy. The unbreakable Kimmy Sheffer, our phone angel answering your calls. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
That's about all I have to say.
I know. It is. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
It is a beautiful day. It's lovely. Lovely. And is that a sack of potatoes over there on the right there? What is that?
It's my jacket.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
It gets cold in here sometimes.
Yeah,
but that's
I know.
not really a problem
I know.
today.
There she is in
kind of warm.
Radio corner right in front of the transmitter. That should be keeping you warm.
Yeah.
It's a little heater there.
Up.
Yeah. Who should I start the show with?
I don't know.
Today?
Who should we talk to? Do you want...
You're asking me?
You want VR? You want... sound bars, you want
Tom.
Mac Minis.
I want Tom in Largo, Florida. How about that?
There you go.
Thank you, Kim. Tom's going, I win the lottery. Hi, Tom. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hi, Leo. LTL 6TC.
LTL 6TC. What is that?
You're gonna learn this one of these times. If you can remember the
long-time listener, sixth-time caller.
Yay, you got it.
I figured it out. That's good. That's good. We can create an abbreviations thing that we'll do. That way everybody will feel left out, including me. So what can I do for you? Thank you. Welcome to your sixth call.
Well, my fifth call was last month, and I was lamenting that I had an old iMac that had failed, and I was very disappointed with the new iMacs that were coming out.
Yeah. And
you suggested I get a Mac Mini instead.
Yes, because then you can get a nice big screen instead of the 24-inch screen. You know what I did the other day? I was thinking I should get a Mac Mini as well, and then I realized, well, wait, I have an M1. All of the M1 machines are effectively the same, and I have the Power MacBook Pro 13-inch M1, and I realized all I need is a dock, and then I can use that on my monitor, And the nice thing about the MacBook Pro, like a lot of laptops, even if it's closed, it still works. So you just get a dock. I bought the Anker Thunderbolt 3 dock because I wanted the speed. Then when I get home, I put down my MacBook Pro, plug it into the Thunderbolt port, and then I've got all these extra ports, including Ethernet and HDMI and everything. And it's kind of like having a Mac Mini. And given the current Mac Minis, it's actually as good as. There's nothing better. But I probably, let me guess, told you, just wait till June 7th.
Well, you may have said that, but I didn't take that advice. No. I did buy a Mac Mini.
Oh, good.
And I like it. I mean, it was kind of a problem of integrating or moving the stuff from a 3 terabyte drive to a 256 drive.
Well, don't move it. Just connect the 3 terabyte drive, and then you're done. Right?
Yeah, but it was, it was High Sierra.
Oh.
And,
so, what I'm going to do with my Mac Mini is, my MacBook Pro, once I got the dock, is I have a Thunderbolt external drive, and I could just plug that in. And Thunderbolt is so fast, 40 gigabits a second, that it's just like an internal drive. It's as fast as the internal drive. So I think the Mini, you were smart to get a relatively small storage on the Mini. Because
that's what I figured.
Yeah, that's enough for just install the operating system. And then with the Mac, you can tell it where your home directory is, and you say it's on that drive, that external drive over there. Does that make sense? He's disappeared. I hear silence. I've thrown him for a loop. Either that or he accidentally muted himself. Or maybe our phone system's having trouble. Sometimes that happens too. Well, I'll leave you up, and Tom, if you can figure out what's going on, or if we can figure it out, just shout, give me a holler. But I think that's the way to treat a Mac Mini is get as much RAM as you can, because you can't supply extra RAM. Oh, there he is. You're back.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Oh, I was listening to my earbuds, and who knows what happened.
Oh, God, that's one thing I hate about. You're probably using AirPods, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes, they switched. This happens to me all the time. I stopped using them.
Yeah.
I could kill Apple for getting rid of wired headphones. It just drives me nuts. Anyway, they switch automatically. So go ahead. What else can I do?
Well, I just said that the Thunderbolt drives are so expensive.
Yes.
That's a real problem. And
yes.
Right now, I'm using a standalone 4 terabyte using USB.
Well, that's fine.
With the blue plugs.
Yeah, that's fine, and you can plug that into your Mac Mini as well. You can get an adapter, because those Thunderbolt ports there are USB 3 ports on there, but if you don't want to use those, maybe you're using them for a keyboard and a mouse or something, you can use the Thunderbolt 3 as well, and then you'll get the speed of USB 3, which is 10 gigabits. That's enough, I think. Actually, USB 3.1 is 10 gigabits. USB 3 is 5, I think. But that's still fast enough to use as an external drive. That's honestly what I would do with the Mini. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. So, sorry, I had to break for a commercial, but I'm still talking to you, as you would know, as a 6th-time caller.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my problem. Now, I want to do a backup of this. And, of course, of my 4 terabyte standalone drive.
Right.
And I've made bootable clones for years using SuperDuper.
Oh, yeah, but Big Sur's changed all that.
Has it? Okay.
So the reason it has is now what Apple does is they have a read-only system partition. If you look in Disk Utility, you'll see there's actually 2 partitions. There's a system partition and a data partition. Your data is on the read-write data partition, but your system, the operating system, the part you need to be bootable, is on a read-only. You could copy it, but it wouldn't boot from it because it needs to be signed There are Apple tools that will do that, but so there's a good blog post from the guy who did Carbon Copy Cloner, because he has the same problem as a super duper guy. And he claims he's figured this out. My solution is just to not worry about Bootable anymore. If you wanted to make it bootable, what you would have to do is install Big Sur on the external drive and then do the super duper copy. So I get it. Because Apple needs to sign the drive before you can boot from it. So and apparently neither Carbon Copy Cloner nor Big Super Duper can do that. There's an Apple tool that will do it. I think this might have been worked out. What I would suggest is read the blog post, both Super Duper at SurePocketSoftware.com and Carbon Copy Cloner. Those guys have solved this in kind of a workaround. So Mike Bombich, who writes Carbon Copy Cloner, which is very similar to Super Duper, has a blog post, bombich.com/blog. And it talks about how you can make bootable backups on Intel. However, there are some issues. All I do now is I make an image of the data partition, and then I just what you do is you install Big Sur on the external drive if you want it to be bootable, and then you can use it as a backup for the rest of it. But you need to read these blog posts because it's complicated. It's workarounds. This is all to protect you, because if the system drive is not writable, bad guys can't change it. Malware can't change it. And if the drive has to be signed, basically it's like secure boot on a PC. If the operating system has to be signed to boot to it, it makes it very hard to modify the system in a bad way. So it's to protect you, but it also makes it a little bit complicated. I would take a look at Carbon Copy Cloner, which is a great program.
I sure will. I mean, Dave Nanian over at Super Duper has been really helpful.
He's great.
To me.
I love Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he has a blog post about this as well.
Okay, well, I'll check both of those out.
Yeah.
Because, with my old iMac where the drive failed, if I didn't have a bootable...
I loved that. I know. It was my favorite feature of Super Duper. I agree.
Yeah. And that drive was never recoverable, so I just used that bootable clone as my drive.
Yeah, what I did is Dave's initial workaround is to use an older version of Super Duper. It was all very complicated, but read the blog posts and then you can decide what you want to do, because there are a variety of results. It's nice to talk to you. I look forward to your 7th call. Thank you, Tom. You know who I like? I like Mint Mobile. That's who I like. You knew that. I actually do really like Mint Mobile. I got Mint Mobile on this phone right here. My iPhone SE has Mint Mobile. Boy, this was a good deal. I got the phone from Mint Mobile for $15 a month, and then I got Mint Mobile's internet and phone service, $15 a month. So I got a brand new phone and data, $30 total. That's a third what I pay the big companies for just the internet alone. Mint Mobile's secret sauce, the thing they've done so brilliantly, is they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. No stores, big savings. They pass them along to you. Now I know, you hear a cellular company say, "Hey, $15 a month." You're going to go, "What's the catch?" Because these guys, they often have catches. Not Mint Mobile. I've been using it, and I can tell you it's awesome. Premium wireless, just $15 a month. Now, what do you get? All plans come with unlimited talk and text, nationwide talk and text, plus high-speed data on the nation's largest 5G network. It's T-Mobile. Use your own phone. You don't have to buy a phone. They sell phones there. I think the iPhone SE is a really good choice. Very nice choice. But you can also bring your own phone. They'll send you the SIM for free. Most companies will charge you for the SIM, not Mint Mobile. And they've got a 7-day money-back guarantee, so if for any reason you're not happy, no problem. No problem. Switch to Mint Mobile. You can even get your cell phone number moved over so you don't Nothing changes. If you use your own phone, your contacts go with you, all your apps and everything. Premium wireless service, $15 a month. They have unlimited. They have a variety of plans. I actually have a little more expensive plan because I want even more data. I think I get 15 gigs of data, $25 a month. It's nothing. Get your new wireless plan. Start with the basic premium wireless plan, $15 a month. Unlimited nationwide talk and text, plus data. And they'll send it to you for free. Go to mintmobile.com/techguy. Cut your wireless bills. What are you paying now? I should really start the ad with that. Tell me what your wireless bill is. 70, 80, 90, $100 a month? How about $15 a month? Wouldn't that be refreshing? Minty fresh, huh? Mintmobile.com/techguy. We thank him so much for making the Tech Guy podcast possible. We thank you for supporting the show by going to that address so they know you heard it here. Otherwise, they go, they saw the Ryan Reynolds ad. They went in that way. No, it wasn't Ryan. It was me. Mintmobile.com/techguy. Use that one, okay? Thank you, Mint Mobile, and thank you. Now back to the show. What is hip? Well, Scott Wilkinson is the epitome of hip, I guess. That's what he says. Anyway, he's our home theater geek, contributor at techhive.com, my expert on audio and video, big screen TVs, surround sound. So I played a lot with Spatial over the week because Apple turned on...
they turned on spatial audio.
Spatial audio and lossless audio on Apple Music. So I, for this purpose, purchased a pair, as we mentioned last week, of Apple's AirPods Max.
Yeah, because it only works with those, right?
No. Well, that's the thing. It doesn't. They even say it works with any headphones.
Oh, okay.
And I thought, well, maybe it'll work better, but it doesn't. On the ones you recommended, the Sennheiser IE300s, it sounds great. And what they did, if you're a subscriber to Apple Music, they have a special. If you go into the browse section, they have a special track, Marvin Gaye, What's Going On. Sure. Which they start in mono, and Zane Lowe, who's the DJ on Apple radio station, says on Beats One, says, "Now here you can hear it in mono," and then it plays in mono. And they said, "Now it's in stereo. This sounds great. It's what we're used to, but watch what happens when we go spatial." So I think what happened, because there's a lot of music on Apple Music that's been remixed, and what it really is surround. It's Dolby Atmos. And to remix it, you take the tracks and you put, the trumpet in the upper left and the trombone in the upper right.
You do it a little more sophisticatedly than that.
But you can position the different instruments and the voices and so forth.
Right.
And I hear it, and I can hear it on the AirPods Max. I hear it just as well on the Sennheisers. I tried it on the Hi-Fi Man high-end. Those sound great.
Ooh, those sound great.
Yeah. And I even tried it on a pair of Elax speakers. And none of this with a Dolby decoding stereo, but just taking it from the Apple TV, and it still sounds. It's almost as big a difference as from mono to stereo, from stereo to spatial. It's similar. The instruments spread out even more.
Sure.
So there's more of a sound stage.
Right. I don't know what kind of technology they're using to do that, though. I mean, they're actually remixing it, but are they remixing it into Dolby Atmos specifically, or do they have their own format?
Well, that's a really good question. They call it Dolby Atmos, so maybe.
Well, then it must be. They'd get sued by Dolby real quick.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they licensed the name. But Dolby licensed the name to any old. I mean, there's laptops with so-called Dolby Atmos that sound terrible. So, it's a nice little bit of revenue.
If they use the name Dolby, then
it's in Dolby Atmos, yeah.
They have to pay Dolby, yeah.
Although I have a Dolby, not Atmos, but a Dolby decoding receiver plugged into my Apple TV, and it still thinks it's stereo. Because here's the thing, it doesn't use the other speakers, as far as I can tell. It's still doing it out of stereo. So it's really more like the old, remember, binaural?
Oh, sure.
So it's really, as far as I can tell, and this kind of is consonant with the way Apple describes it, using left and right, just the headphones, to simulate surround.
Well, I need to dig into this. I just learned about this week myself, and what they're calling spatial audio, if they call it Dolby Atmos, then it has to have some Atmos algorithms in it. But how exactly they're doing it, this is generally known as virtualization. or headphone virtualization.
Yeah.
Sony has its own system, and Dolby has its system, of course. And so it does. Let me ask you this. I haven't heard it yet. Does it sound like the sound is outside, like as if it's coming from speakers when you're listening on headphones? Does it have a sense of depth of
a little bit.
Largeness? Because, when you're listening to headphones, for the most part, you're listening to headphones. It's right inside your head.
Yeah, okay. It's less of that.
It's less of that, okay.
More open, yeah. It sounds good. I turn it on everywhere, turned up the streaming to lossless on everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I have some very good sound gear, and I like it. I don't think it's going to change the world, but if you say, well, you can listen in mono, stereo, or spatial, I'll say spatial.
Sure.
As I imagine there'll be bad remixes, just as
there always are. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if you remember in the early days of surround music, there were, I heard one of the first demos at CES many years ago, they played some Eagles tune, and, the cowbell came clanking out of the left surround speaker.
You can do it really poorly.
You can really do it really bad. But more recently, mixing engineers have gotten hip, so to speak, and have learned how to do it well. And so it becomes a more integrated sound field around you that sounds really good. I really like surround music myself when it's done well.
Here's the message, though. You don't have to have AirPods, an Apple headphone to use it, to see it. To hear it, I should say. I connected my, you recommended a very nice DAC, which is the iFi Hip DAC.
Hip DAC,
$130. I connected the Hip DAC to my iPad or my iPhone, turned on spatial, and then used regular headphones like those very nice Sennheiser IE300s. And it sounded great. And as I said, I thought at first it was a gimmick, to be honest with you. But I bet you when stereo came out, people said the same thing.
People thought that was a gimmick. Absolutely. No question about it.
And there's still Beatles fans who say you shouldn't really listen to Sgt. Pepper in mono. They only mixed it in stereo very quickly and badly for the U.S. market because they demanded it. But it was intended to be in mono. And I've listened to, when Sgt. Pepper's hit its 50th anniversary, they put out a special version with a remix. And I've listened to it in all different ways. There are, in fact, Beatles songs that have been remixed for spatial as well.
Oh, yeah. Or surround. I mean, you've been to the Love show in Vegas,
Love that.
It's great. And that's remixed.
Surround. Yeah.
That's remixed in surround.
Giles Martin did that. The son of the Beatles legend. George Martin, producer.
And it's in surround with the surround speakers in the seat back.
Yeah, they're around you. They're all over. I thought that sounded wonderful. So this is sort of like, that's not as dramatic as that, but it's sort of like that. And so I don't think it's as much of a gimmick as I thought.
No.
Well, it remains to be seen if the music industry embraces it. They seem to have. There are classical tracks in surround. Honestly, it's not as noticeable with classical.
Well, probably because they've mixed the orchestra or whatever in front of you, and what's in the surround channels is ambience.
That's all you get is ambience.
Is the sound of the hall.
So that's nice. But because they don't separately mic the instruments, there aren't separate tracks for all the instruments. They can't put the oboes on the left and they can't really move those around as much.
Well, that would be weird.
So you hear it more in pop music than you do in classical music. But Apple has samplers. They have hundreds of songs now. And I think that because it's Apple and it's the #1 music store in the world, iTunes, I suspect producers are going to mix.
If a lot of people do it, it'll become important. I mean, for example, Sony 360 Reality Audio, they now have about 4,000 tracks in that virtualization system. But how many tracks are there available online? Millions.
75 million at last
75
count.
Million. So 4,000 is less than a drop in the bucket.
Not much. Yeah.
It's not much.
Not much.
So we need to see this adopted in a big way in order for it to really be a force or have an impact. I hope it does because I love it.
Some musicians, Roger Waters' Us and Them tour was done in the venues in surround, speakers all over. And the movie version of that is also Dolby Atmos surround. And I've listened to that on my surround speakers, and it sounds great.
The Aerosmith concert residency in Vegas is mixed in surround as well. in the theater.
I suspect this is going to be the way it is. It's a shame that people are listening to it on Apple's terrible headphones.
Yeah, I
Get
agree.
some good headphones if you
Get
really
some good
wanna hear it.
headphones.
Oh, I just used up your whole segment. Scott
That's cool.
Wilkinson, it's a hot topic right now.
It's a
Home
hot
Theater
topic,
Geek,
yeah.
Contributor, techhive.com. More of your calls right after this. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. The other thing that's confusing is that there's two things Apple's doing labeling spatial. One is totally stupid, but on their headphones, because they have accelerometers in the headphones, if you're watching TV, they keep the source of the TV sound in front of you like this as you turn your
Right,
heads.
and if you move to the side, it still feels like it's coming
over
from
there.
that same location. Right.
That's one thing they do. But that's different from spatial music. It doesn't move around as you move your head, obviously,
Right.
because it's just music.
Well, but it does. If it's spatial and you have a sound in front of you and a sound to the side, and you move your head, the sound in front of you is still in front of you, and the sound
Is it?
Yeah, I think.
I don't think
unless
so.
they're doing that.
No, and
that
I'll tell you why.
motion compensation.
The only way that works is on Apple headphones with accelerometers in it that can tell you've
Yes,
turned your head.
Yes.
So I think they don't do that. I'll have to try it with the AirPods Max. They sound
Right.
so awful that I really can't force myself to listen to it for very long.
Oh man, are these the over-ear ones? The big ones.
$550 ones.
Oh man, I'm so sorry to hear that.
I was listening to Rush's Tom Sawyer, and the lead guitar is so muddy, it's like it's hardly there. It's muddy. And I thought, boy, I wonder if they mixed it this way. So I went and listened.
You went
to
back
it,
and listened
it said,
on
no,
another-
you can hear it quite clearly. It's just whatever frequency that's at is not well reproduced. You might be able to EQ it, but it's really, you know what it really is? It's just the Bluetooth compression. It's just trashing.
Well, that's part of it. Yeah. I mean, what I would do in that case to verify that is listen on another pair of Bluetooth headphones. You must have another pair of.
I have the
non-Apple
Sennheiser Bluetooths. I should dig those out. And,
No,
try
I mean,
it.
the other Sennheisers.
Yeah, Sennheiser makes wireless headphones too, so I should dig
Yeah.
those out and see.
Yeah, you should dig those out and see.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I do on my reviews. Is particularly if something sounds bad,
Oh, yeah,
I'll
yeah.
try it. Try it on something else.
Well, that's why I listened on the ELAC with the ELAC DAC, and those sounded really good. Lisa loved it. So, I mean, you can tell the difference.
But it only played on the front, left, and right. Is that what you're saying?
It's not. That's the thing. It's designed for two speakers. It's two speaker spatial. That's why it's weird that they call it Dolby Atmos.
That's really weird. I mean, there is Dolby Atmos virtualization. A lot of AV receivers have, I forget exactly what it's called. Somebody in the chat room will know, I'm sure. But yeah, they have height virtualization, I think it's called.
Right. I will try with the AirPods. I will try turning my head. I think that would be disconcerting. And clearly that only works on headphones that have accelerometers in them.
Right.
And which is only those Apple headphones, as far as I know.
Yeah, I don't. Well, some gaming headphones.
Oh, they
probably
might.
do.
Sure. Yeah, they might. But
you need to have situational awareness with those.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that's interesting. Yeah, because are they coming from the left or the right? Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And it's also weird that it works with speakers. I mean,
it works with, but it's what's now, and this I have to figure out. I have a Denon Dolby, not Atmos, Dolby standard decoding speaker. When I went into Spatial, the Apple Music did not signal the speaker. It said stereo. Now, it decodes movies in 5.1.
Yeah.
So it's capable of it. When I watched the Roger Waters movie, it's in surround. But it did not switch to surround from the Apple Music. And so I'm thinking Spatial is designed for two speakers is what I'm thinking. But I have to experiment some more.
Yeah.
On that. Apple's not completely clear. They don't want anybody to really.
Plus the fact that spatialization in headphones and on a pair of speakers is a very different beast.
Yeah, and it's not as good on the headphones. Can you stick around to the top of the hour?
Sure.
I mean, it's not as good on speakers as it is on
Not
headphones.
as good on speakers,
Yeah,
correct.
It's not as noticeable. It really is noticeable on headphones. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. I think this was the first song they played on MTV, right? Video killed the radio star. So how's MTV doing these days? Are they playing music? No. But they've got a lot of reality shows. And how's radio doing? Is it playing music? Yes. So I would say video did not kill the radio star. Case closed. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Ed's on the line from Levittown, PA. Hello, Ed.
Hello, Leo. I hope you can save my marriage.
Uh-oh. Well, I'll put my counselor hat on. What can I do to help? Do you have a mixed marriage, one Mac, one PC, that kind of thing?
No, we bought a new LG 55-inch TV, and I bought a Vizio soundbar to go with it. The problem is when we use the FiOS controller to change channels on the TV, it changes the sound up and down.
Let's get Mr. Scott Wilkinson in for the diagnosis on this one. So you change. So you have a FiOS, which is
that's your source.
That's the Verizon television system.
Yes.
When you change to that from what? Anything else?
When we change the channels up and down.
Oh, just the channels.
It also changes the volume.
Oh. Well, the FCC very clearly limits what broadcasters can do with regard to volume. Now, remember, you're not on broadcast anymore. But I would imagine that the same rules apply, that the levels... Isn't that the case, Scott, that the TV levels are pretty consistent? They should be?
Well, generally speaking, that's true. People often talk about how the commercials are louder, but that's not really true. They're just very compressed into the highest possible allowable level. So they're all there, whereas TV shows can get soft and can get loud. So commercials sound louder by comparison. But this is a different issue.
So in other words, you're talking about apparent loudness. And I think a lot of times when people say, boy, that's loud, it's apparent loudness. The actual, if you had a decibel meter measuring it, it would be the same.
Right, and I've done that.
Yeah. But
Now,
apparently it sounds louder because they're, different sounds, compression, that kind of thing.
But you're talking about one program to another, not commercials, right? Not from a program to a commercial.
Different channel to another, yeah.
Exactly. If you go down 20 channels, the sound actually disappears.
What?
And then she has to.
Is that consistent? Is that no matter where you start from?
Yeah.
You go down 20 channels and the sound disappears.
Okay.
And if she goes 20 channels up, it gets louder.
Okay, I know what's wrong. That helped, that description.
Yeah.
Somehow your remote control has combined the channel changing setting with the volume setting.
Yep.
So there's a couple of ways you could, figure out what's going on. Is it the remote control that came with the Verizon box?
Yes.
So first thing I would do is call Verizon and say, I bet you're not the only one who's complaining about this.
Well, let me add that we have another FiOS controller, and it happens with both of them.
Yeah. So interesting.
Well, and the FiOS controller, you must have configured it to
match your TV.
The volume.
Yeah.
Control the volume on the sound bar.
Yes.
So I think it needs to be decoupled somehow. That's really interesting.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how it would happen. It sounds like an error, not something that anybody would do intentionally.
No.
So reprogram those remotes, I guess.
Yep.
Start over. Pretend you don't have any audio set up. Did you set it to turn the sound bar up and down?
Yes. And
now, how is the sound bar? And turn the TV. So it's power on off TV, volume up down sound bar, probably power on off sound bar as well, right?
Yes.
And how is the sound bar connected to the TV?
Optical cable.
Optical cable. Okay. So one question I would have is, are you controlling the volume of the sound bar using the volume of the TV, or have you set the TV to fixed volume and really controlling the volume of the sound bar itself? I don't know.
Here's thank you, Mike B. in our chat room has posted a thread on the Tom's Guide forums. Channel button changing volume on sound bar.
Oh man!
With a Verizon cable box.
Bingo.
Bingo. Let's see if they found an answer. Another guy says, dude, I just Googled this because I had the same exact problem. I fixed it by going into the settings on the Fios box, okay, following along, Ed, and switching the audio from surround to stereo. Not sure why that should make a difference, but it seems to have solved the problem.
Do you have
give that a try?
Is it a surround sound bar? Do you have actual speakers?
But wait a minute. Who makes a sound bar? Vizio. So here's a guy who had the same problem with a JBL soundbar, and the soundbar manufacturer said this is a known issue with the Verizon set-top box. And so they sent him an update for the JBL Harman soundbar that apparently fixed it. But that's really... So apparently Verizon has done something with their Uverse or their Fios setup in some strange way. Try going from surround to stereo. See if that fixes it. You do have surround in that Vizio, but, you know.
Well, do you? That's the question. Some Vizios do, some don't.
Oh, maybe that's the problem.
I believe this one does, because I wanted to go top shelf with everything. And
yeah, you would have bought that. Yeah, you would have bought it that way.
So you actually have physical speakers for surround, right?
No, the woofer is built into the soundbar.
Soundbar does it all.
Okay, soundbar does it all. Then I would definitely try that. Go to stereo in the Vizio in the Fios box, and see if that works.
Isn't that funny?
That is really funny. But this is a known problem. I had never heard of it before.
I had never heard of it either. But that's the weird thing about technology. as soon as you said it goes up when I go up in the channels and down when I go down in the channels.
There you go. They're linked.
I would have said initially maybe it's a short in the remote, but it works. It does that on both remotes. So now I'm thinking it's sending. What it's doing is it's sending out a signal that it thinks is the channel change signal to the Verizon box, and apparently that collides with the volume. You know, remember it's all infrared light. And the number of blinks in time, and so it apparently collides with the up-down volume setting on the
just mixed
Vizio.
with.
Yeah. Well, I suspect what's happening is that light is shining out of the remote, and the Verizon Fios box is seeing channel up, channel down, but the Vizio soundbar is also seeing that light and going, "Oh, he wants me to turn it up." Oh, he wants me to turn it down. And that's the problem. You could verify this, by the way, by blocking the infrared receiver on the Vizio.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Just to see if that's what's going on, but I bet you that would do it. So or even just have your wife stand in front of it. Or tape over it or something. But
without any sharp objects.
Yeah, no sharp objects allowed. Cover the sensor just to see what happens. And maybe, since you're programming it, you would program it with the sensor covered it already knows a Verizon channel thing. So, yeah, I think it's just a collision is what I would guess. You know, there are a limited number of commands an infrared light can send out.
Yeah, it's true.
And so I suspect what happened is that the way Verizon set this up, that the channel up for the Fios box is the same as volume up for the Vizio soundbar.
Should I cover the Vizio?
Cover the Vizio and see if you can change channels without the sound changing.
Yeah.
And actually, that might be a short-term fix.
That's the light right in the middle of the soundbar?
I'm not sure where the infrared receiver is. It won't be a light. It'll be
hard to see.
A smoky plastic.
Smoky
cover.
Plastic. Shiny plastic. Little thing, like maybe half an inch square or something.
Hey, that's a great question. That's the question of the day right there. But as soon as he said, "Oh, when you change the channel, it changes the volume," it was like, "Oh, I get it."
When you go channel up or channel down, the volume goes up or down.
If I go 20 channels up, it's really, really loud. If I go 20 channels down, it's silent.
Yep.
That's a great question.
Yeah, and I had never heard of that before.
Yeah.
That's
I think,
amazing.
honestly, that's the key on this show is getting the the information.
Yes. It's like going to the doctor. You don't want to
know what questions to ask.
And you got to give them all the information.
That's I know I'm sure for physicians that's part of the challenge is getting people to tell them what they need to know.
Yeah.
It's because I know, what I think the temptation with it when you go to the doctor is say, "Well, I got impetigo." No, Show me the symptoms. I'll do the diagnostics. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Exactly right.
Yep.
Exactly right.
All yours, Scott, for the next 7 minutes and 40 seconds. Mark.
Thank you. Mark. Let's see. Somebody in here was talking about, who was it? I saw it here a second ago. Titus, maybe? Something about tell the Fios box not to ignore volume commands. But that's not the problem. The Fios, I don't think anyway, the Vizio soundbar is getting volume commands when you're sending channel up, down to the Fios box. So, although, you make that would be one other thing to try is possibly, since the Fios box is connected to the TV via HDMI, presumably, and we do know that the TV is connected to the soundbar by optical, I suppose, well, no, it wouldn't. The optical would not send commands to the soundbar. So, whatever the Fios box does with volume commands that it may see, it would not affect the soundbar. No, the soundbar is getting IR commands from the remote that make it think you want to turn the volume up or down when you're sending channel up, down, and that's not what you want to have happen. So, Leo's diagnostic of cover the IR receiver and see if it happens. I would be willing to bet that it doesn't. And finding that IR receiver, I was going to mention this. That takes a little bit of digging. The best place to start is the owner's manual. And in the owner's manual, very often, usually, there's a picture or a diagram of the soundbar with little arrows that point to everything. And one of the arrows, it points to the controls, it points to, the inputs on the back. And it also, there's one arrow that points to the IR receiver, because you have to know where it is to sort of point your remote there, because IR, infrared, is a line of sight. It has to actually travel through the air and by line of sight. Now, somebody else in the chat room said, it would be great if the Fios was able to respond to RF, radio frequency. And that's true. It would be great, but it probably doesn't. Anyway, so you have to find that little IR receiver. It's on the front of the soundbar, but is it at the bottom, in the middle? Is it somewhere else? You don't know. So look in the manual, and it'll probably, near the beginning of the manual, there'll be a picture of the soundbar with arrows pointing to all the different pieces. And one of them will be pointing to the IR receiver, and that's what you need to block. Now, the thought I had, which I didn't get a chance to say there, was if you like a consistent volume, if you set the volume of the soundbar and that's where you like it, and you're going to keep it there, you could just put a piece of tape over the IR receiver so it doesn't receive anything at all. Although that's not a great solution, because then it wouldn't receive the on-off command. So never mind. Mike B. That was Mike B. Thank you, Mike B. And hey, Kay Woods. Good to see you. Mike B. says he's pretty sure the Fios box supports RF. In that case, if that's the case, then its remote might very well put out RF as well as IR. That's interesting. I don't know about that. MJ Ryder sent me a note in Discord. Let's see what he has to say about anything. Where am I? Following two different chat rooms is not so easy. Yeah, here he is, Matt. Aren't IR codes theoretically standardized to minimize collisions? But I agree with this, that this is the diagnosis, but this shouldn't happen. Well, you're right. It shouldn't. But Leo also made a good point that there are only so many codes. And yes, the IR codes are theoretically standardized, but that doesn't mean anybody has to follow that standard. Sad to say. Let's see here. Mike B says, this may be the box and gadgets Digio VMS 1100. What is, the Aris VMS 1100. Oh, is that that may be the FiOS box that he has. Okay. Well, I'll have to take a look at all of that. It's a very interesting question. Yeah, MJ Ryder posted while he was still muted in IRC. Yeah, like I said, this Discord's nice, but, following 2 different chat rooms at once, it's hard enough following one with 262 people in it. When my sister has come on into the chat room a couple times, she has gone, how do you do that? It just flies by so quick. Twisted Mister says, manufacturers purchase remote codes. Cheap transmitters or receivers may just not be that accurate in ignoring others. Well, that's possible too. Exactly right. Susie L65, there was an e-waste recycling event today. I got a bunch of e-waste I need to recycle. I've been going through my garage and I found a bunch of old computer peripherals, like SCSI peripherals, which I'm never, ever going to use again. So those go to recycling. Here's a question, though. Maybe somebody in the chat room knows. I have a question for you. And that is, I found a bunch of blank CDRs and a few DVD-Rs as well. Are those useful to anybody? Should I give them to a thrift store or something like that, or just toss them? I hate tossing CDs, but I don't know any place to recycle, commercial CDs. But I wonder if blank CDRs are useful. Table asks, any news on the Olympics being in 4K HDR? Yes, they are going to be, according to what I read. NBC's going to do it probably on DirecTV and Comcast, which unfortunately I have Dish. But that's what I heard.
Thank you, Scott.
My pleasure.
Have a good one.
Week.
Take care.
You too. Bye.
Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Time to talk computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography, smartphones, smart watches. 8888 Ask Leo is the phone number. 888-827-5536. Toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. Outside that area, I think you will be able to call in, I think, via Skype. We get calls from all over the world. Must be. Skype out can call phones, and it shouldn't cost you anything because it's a toll-free number. That's my best guess. 8888 Ask Leo. There's a website where you can go and read the answers to the questions, read the questions. Thanks to James DeRuvo, our scribe. He's writing it all down. Audio and video from the show goes up there afterwards. But you can also post your comments there. Every once in a while, we get a question like Ed's question, where everybody's got a thought, an opinion, an idea. And the best thing to do, go to techguylabs.com. Post it right there. There's no sign up. It costs you nothing. For leaving a comment, the only thing we ask is that you log in. You can use Google, Twitter, Facebook, a variety of different accounts. And that's just to put a speed bump up for spammers. It's not, we're not doing anything with it. techguylabs.com. I don't know if people know this, but the way remote controls work is kind of interesting. They're infrared light, so they're invisible to the eye. And they blink. You can't see it, but they blink. And they blink at different rates and in different patterns for different commands. And so Ed's problem was that when he turned the channel up and down, sending a command using the remote that came with his Verizon FiOS TV system, it was also turning the volume up when he went up in the channels and down when he went down in the channels. And so what's happening is there's a blink code designed for the FiOS coming out of that remote control. And it happens to, and I guess this, if you think about it, it's probably not unusual. I'm sure there's an industry consortium that says, well, .dit, .dit, .dit is ours. But maybe it doesn't work so well. So it's not impossible to think that there might be a collision, and clearly that's what's happened. The Vizio is interpreting channel up and channel down, which is intended for the Fios, and saying, oh, you mean turn the volume up and down? Oh, okay. So it's a collision. The same infrared code, or it's close, probably it's close enough. I bet you they're not exactly the same. But it's close enough that the Vizio's going, well, I think he means to turn the volume down. I'll do that. Easy way to test it, find the receiver. Anything that has a remote will have a kind of a plastic, usually it looks like it's opaque to you, but infrared goes right through it. A piece of glass or actually it's plastic on it somewhere. And you can, hard to find sometimes. If you find it, just tape over it, see if that fixes the problem. If it does, yeah, bingo. And now you just have to figure out how to change that. That would be why, actually, if you think about it, remember one of the forums that we quoted said, I had the same thing happen to me with my Harman sound bar. And the Harman folks sent me a firmware update. Well, I bet you that's what was in the firmware update. It changed the volume up and down a signal slightly. It's kind of an interesting thing. Now, this is why I don't really like infrared remotes. The other problem is you wander off into the kitchen. They don't work because it's line of sight. You have to have a direct line between your remote and the TV or whatever you're controlling. Some companies, Roku, I think, and others, do RF remotes. They use radio frequency, and I don't think you'd have this problem with those. Honestly, I think radio, and the nice thing about radio frequency is you can go to the bathroom and still change the TV channel. So I kind of like that better. It's probably more expensive. I don't know. I don't know if you remember in the early days of remotes, if you're of a certain age, you might remember that the early remotes used sound. From 1956 to 1977, they would make supposedly inaudible sound. Click, 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 click. Light works a little bit better, especially if you got the TV turned up. Honestly, as more and more remotes use Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, or just radio frequency, I think you're going to get better results. Much better results. 8888 Ask Leo. Anyway, the website, techguylabs.com. You can leave your comment, your thought, your answer there. Andrew on the line from Ventura is next. Hi, Andrew. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hello. Is this Ice Station Leo?
Ice Station Leo. That's my code name. Don't tell anybody. Top secret.
Okay. By the way, if you like the drug bust thing, that was absolutely phenomenal. Go watch a show called Startup. It's similar.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Okay. Yeah, the whole idea was, actually, there's some really interesting side notes to that. For instance, they made it $2,000 every 6 months. They made it really expensive, which I'm sure made the bad guys think, well, this must be really good, right? If it was a honeypot, you'd make it easy to get into. No, they're making this hard. And you had to be referred by some other drug kingpin. And the real thing they did was they got a guy who's a legendary Turkish drug kingpin. Somehow they got him to recommend it. And so everybody said, oh, if Anton likes it, wow, this must be really good. 2,000 smackers, okay. I'm using it.
I was wondering how they got into the whole thing.
Isn't that clever?
Good infiltration.
Isn't that clever?
My question, it's wonderful. My question today is about VR. But really quick, I told you about Startup. I have been forced to use a Mac for the last year, and the best, absolute, fabulous utility I found is only $20. It's called Steer Mouse.
Steer Mouse.
Steer Mouse.
Okay.
It lets you configure your mouse. You can use chords, macros, all kinds of things.
Ooh, I like that.
It's a free 30-day demo.
Okay.
Full functionality. And the support works. The guy answers me in hours.
I like that, too.
Okay.
Yeah, always nice if we can recommend and tell people about this kind of stuff, because these are usually, as you learn in Startup, it's just some guy who said he's scratching his own itch. Boy, I'd really like it if I could do this. Wrote something, and then we want to support it. That's great.
It's absolutely fabulous. It solves problems I've been looking to solve with the Mac for years.
Steer Mouse from plentycom.jp. Plentycom.jp, yeah. That's really
Do you
cool.
think Tim Cook's ever going to come out and say, this is not the best ever thing we've ever made?
This is the thinnest, lightest, best. Well, that's the nature of the computer industry, right? Why would you make a product if it wasn't better than the last product?
Faster, bigger, better.
Right? Faster,
But
bigger,
you know
better.
what? Put 2 more millimeters of stuff
I
on
agree.
my phone. I'll be perfectly happy with that. And give me a battery.
Give me
that
a
lasts
fatter
a little
battery.
longer.
Yeah, you went too thin.
That's it.
You went too thin. Well,
That's
there's
it.
all sorts of trade-offs. I was talking last week about the antennas on these phones. And remember the early days of cell phones? They had those extensible antennas that always get broken off. Well, companies eventually said, well, that's a better antenna design, but what if we put it inside and then it wouldn't get broken off? And so our cell phone reception is much worse than it was in those days. But
Yeah, well, that's because you're holding it wrong.
you're holding it wrong. Thank you. Thank you.
So my question today
Yes.
is about VR. Costco 2-3 years ago had a VR system for like $1,800. The Vive, HTC Vive. What a ton of fun that thing is.
Yeah, we have one at home. I love it.
later-
It's my favorite. Yeah.
Oh, my-
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I set it up. I was walking on a plank of wood 1 inch thick over the carpet and got dizzy and almost had to.
Isn't that
had to kneel down
fascinating?
on the ground.
I've seen, I've played with VR where you're at the, on the top of a skyscraper looking over the edge and your stomach jumps. You
feel it.
Intellectually that you're in your living room, you're not going to fall, but your stomach jumps. Your mind believes it. It's kind of incredible.
You get so much into the game. You might have seen these videos. If not, go look on YouTube. I have had 2 people in my room get so into the game they actually ran into the wall.
Yeah, most games have things they do to keep you from doing that. That is always the risk. I agree.
There's a visual fence that comes up, and hey, don't go.
They
past
still go.
it.
They still run into it. But he's over there. I gotta get him. They forget.
So, what's new these days? Vive, the HTC, the Oculus Rift.
I think most of the exciting work is now being done by Facebook. They own Oculus. And frankly, I know that was a bad
no
thing.
privacy, right?
Yeah. In fact, their current Oculus, you must have a Facebook account to use it, which is why I don't own it. Because I don't have a Facebook account. But if you want to use the Quest 2, which a lot of people agree is the best out there, you have to log in with your Facebook account. That's a little
Facebook account that says I'm born January 1st, 2020.
Yeah, that's probably what you should do is make a dummy account.
2000.
Yeah, that's probably what you should do. But I find that very annoying. And by the way, if Facebook finds out it's a dummy account, they can cancel your Quest account. And they have done this with people. And you can't use it anymore. This nice piece of hardware doesn't work anymore. So I find that offensive.
Even if you make another dummy account?
Yeah, they caught you. They got you. They know your serial number now. So
I think you just put a dead end on.
I don't own that one. I still have the Vive. However, I feel like development in VR has really slowed down. The only company really doing it now, I think, is Facebook, and that's because they have an ulterior motive. They want to create the first virtual reality social network. Microsoft's doing a little bit with their HoloLens. That's AR. I think the real breakthrough is going to end up being AR, not VR. So VR, like the Vive, you can't see what's going on. You run into walls because you think you're somewhere else. AR, augmented reality, you still see the world around you, but it's superimposed on top of it is a game or information. That's what Microsoft's doing with HoloLens. And that's what the rumor mill says Apple is working very hard, spending literally hundreds of millions of dollars a year to develop. And it's expected in the next year or two, Apple will have some sort of augmented reality spectacles you can wear, go out in the world and play a game or see more information. Apple really believes is the next big thing. So I think that's where we're going, not so much VR. Microsoft calls it mixed reality. And I think that's probably it. VR, if you want VR to get better, you need higher resolution screens, 8K in each eye. You need much more processing power because a fairly large percentage, roughly 10% of everybody who uses these get nauseated because of the Why are you laughing? You shouldn't laugh. It's a terrible thing. But the reason is there's a disconnect between the focal length where they think they're looking at a tree 10 feet away, but their eyes are converging at a screen an inch away, and the mind is saying, look, that tree is either 10 feet away or an inch away, but it can't be both. And if you think it's both, you ate bad mushrooms, throw up now. And well, the rest is history. So they've got to solve this, and I'm not sure how they solve that. Augmented reality doesn't have that problem because you are focusing on something 10 feet away. There really is something there. There is a tree. I think some people think higher frame rates, better processors will give you higher frame rates and perhaps better, faster acceleration. So when you turn your head, there's no lag. They think that's another reason people get nauseated is you turn your head and the tree moves, but not quite the same time. Then again, your brain goes
to 30 milliseconds or so.
Right.
It was imperceptible to me.
No, they've gotten very good. And I think there are some industrial companies and high-end companies making much better headsets. The problem is cost and weight. And the Oculus Quest is not connected to the computer. The computer is in the headset. But to do everything I just described, you really need to be wired into a computer. All of this adds up. And so I think there are some roadblocks. I think, if you ask me, I really think augmented reality is going to be the next big thing, not virtual reality. But I'm glad you asked, though. And I love the Vive. What game do you play?
I don't remember. It's been a while, but
see, that's the problem. I think
it was called Walk the Plank.
Yeah, you just described the problem. Is that people use it, go, "Oh, that's so cool! It's amazing," and then they don't ever do it again.
Well, once you're on it, we spent hours.
Yeah, but
many hours.
Do you still do it?
If I had it, I'd still be on it.
Oh, you don't have it now.
I don't. Yeah, I don't have it, but I'm looking to buy another one.
My 18-year-old and his friends, they love it. They play something called Beat Saber, which is a musical game where you're lightsabering notes. It's kind of like Guitar Hero, but with a saber. And it's fun to watch them because they're dancing all around and they're having fun. But no adult I know, or very few adults I know, are still into it. I think it wears out after a while. So I don't know. We'll see.
I think I know there's a flight simulator called X-Plane, which is so good it is licensed by the FAA, and you can get certified for your simulator time with X-Plane.
So that's cool.
But
you do that sitting down, though, and that's
something else.
That avoids the running into furniture or wall problem because you're sitting down in an airplane cockpit.
I flew a 747 from Burbank to LAX.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Simulator.
Are you? Oh, on a simulator. Okay.
On a flight simulator.
The pilot didn't just say, "Hey, Andrew, come on up. Why don't you land this sucker?"
It's amazing because it took 10 minutes. And
yeah, that's they call that slew, where you can quickly jump between two spots. I think X-Plane's very good. Microsoft's new flight simulator is also excellent, 4K resolution, very, very good.
The climb rate in the 747 is rather amazing. The biggest I've ever actually flown is the Cessna 172. So with no experience in the 747, I jumped in at Burbank, flew up to LAX, and only blew out one tire on landing.
They didn't mention that the Burbank runway is too short for a 747, and you actually plowed into the street. We won't mention that part. Hey, I got to run. Andrew, nice to talk to you.
Thank you.
Great question. I don't know what the future of VR is. I really don't. I feel like some of the oomph has gone out of the market. Don't you? Leo Laporte, the tech guy. More calls coming up. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number, website, techguylabs.com. Philippe on the line from Camarillo, California. Camarillo. Hello, Philippe. Is it Camarillo?
Camarillo.
Do people say Camarillo?
Yes, Camarillo.
Yes. Camarillo. And they say Philippe.
You want to do the Spanish. Philippe, yes, French, though. Not the Spanish.
No, I know.
Leo.
Yes, sir.
Can I just say thank you for the wonderful service you provide to the average person here to make technology more accessible
We need it, don't we?
Love it. I appreciate. Oh yeah, your service is really appreciated.
I do my best.
Wonderful.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You're truly a treasure for our.
Oh, Kelly, you don't. Okay, stop now. Stop. You're making me blush.
Well, listen, I'm going to address something that's kind of antiquated, which is the demise of a Samsung TV. Listen, I worked at a dealership where those TVs were on a minimum of 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, year after year. And I purchased, was probably one of the last plasma 3D TVs, a Series 8500.
Wow. Plasma 3D. There's two technologies that are gone.
You're right. And I've got some Blu-ray 3Ds. Obviously, it's kind of like your VR thing. You probably don't watch it that much. But when you do, I'm always amazed how good it is, to be honest. Like, if you watch Avatar, I'm going like, this is really cool.
Well, it was really, that was, really designed for 3D. That wasn't, yeah.
Anyway, so I had the TV for maybe 4 years, and I think I left it on when I was watching it at night in my bed, and I wake up the next morning, the thing's dead. So I've tried to figure out what could be done. Am I just at a lost cause? And I wouldn't bother if it wasn't such a special.
That's a really interesting question. Most TVs these days are circuit boards that, especially if they don't make them anymore, might be hard to replace. I don't know who would fix it, though. I just don't know. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Was it a Pioneer? Who made it? Samsung. There might...
and I thought those things were indestructible.
I know.
What I found out was... so I did go to a TV guy, and you can go online, and they'll, check the main, I guess, the power board, the power supply. And I guess that's usually the culprit. But even after replacing that and spending way more than I wanted to... That's
the problem, yeah.
Yeah. Is there any way to tell if the plasma is bad, the plasma itself, or no?
I'm sure there's somebody who can go in there with a voltmeter and figure that out, you bet.
Okay.
You need to find somebody who does plasma TV repair. The good news, because it's Samsung, it might be that somebody can get used parts and stuff. I mean, it's a big enough manufacturer. I'm trying to remember when.
eBay does have them, but
there you go.
Like it's hit and miss, But the other quick thing I wanted to ask you is there, you were talking about, or somebody was mentioning recordable DVDs. My ex has been bugging me forever because we have all these Super 8s and VHS stuff.
Yeah.
So I did do some of them, but it was kind of expensive. It's like $88 an hour.
Oh, wow.
I thought, right, to record it onto a DVD.
Yeah.
And foolish me, I didn't make more than one copy. So I'd like to know, is there an easy way for me to replicate, they're not encrypted or anything, to just copy a DVD?
Absolutely. As long as they're not copy protected, well, even if they are, it's fairly easy to do. You need to get a DVD burner. Well, do you want to copy it to another DVD, or do you want just the video?
Well, what's the best way? I guess I ideally to copy it to another DVD. So I've got an HP computer, and I guess I could do it off of that, right?
So if you've got a DVD reader, it's fairly easy to what we call rip it. And there are two different ways to rip it. You could rip it just the video without any of the menu structure. If these are homemade, you probably don't have any menu structure on them anyway. It's only the commercial movies. So you'll have a bunch of VOB files and VTS files on this DVD. I would get a program, it's free, called Handbrake, HANDBRAKE, just like a handbrake in a car, .fr. Okay. That's free, and they'll tell you, you need VLC, which is also free, from videoland.org. That's what'll open the DVD, and then Handbrake will go take the hand off, and then can convert it into MPEG-4 files or whatever format you like. Typically, it'd be MPEG-4 or MPEG-5 files that you could then put on a computer and read. And if you want to burn them, copy them, then it's even easier because there are programs that will basically copy the DVD, but you'll need a DVD burner for that.
So is that can I do that off of my computer?
Sure. You just need two. You need two drives. You one to read and one to write. But I like Handbrake, and I like the idea of making it a file that you can then put on, Dropbox or iCloud or OneDrive, and then your ex can you can send her the link and she can download it. You don't have to worry about making more discs. Right. Now you've got the digital file on the hard drive. You can give it to everybody.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, that's a good way to do it. Hey, Leo, by the way, I felt like I better get iDrive, so I feel more secure now.
Good man. Good man.
You know what? Because I said to myself, if I lose my phone or something happens, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's right, Philippe. Hey, I appreciate the call. I got to run.
Leo, thank you so much.
Have a wonderful day, sir.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Normally, Johnny Jett would be here. He's actually traveling. We're back, baby. He went somewhere with Natalie, his wife. She said, we're getting out of town, so we'll find out next week where Johnny went. But I will take this opportunity to mention that we are going on a cruise, and I want you to join me next year. Don't worry, we're not doing it this year. But next year, I'm working with an agency called Travel Storm. That's where my travel agent is, the wonderful Jane Zugsmith. Working with Travel Store to do an Alaska cruise July 16th through 23rd next year, 2022. If you'd like to join me, I'd love to have you on board. We're going to have, we'll have a cocktail party. We'll do some special events. My wife, Lisa, is also coming along, and she says she's going to get up at 6 a.m., do morning exercise classes. I'll be sleeping in for that, but I'll take the late night shift. How about that? If you want to know more, cruise, CRUISE, cruise.twit.tv. I've been on an Alaskan cruise. It is great. It's fun. You see glaciers. Lisa said, do we see polar bears? I said, I don't think so, but you'll see salmon. You'll see salmon. We're going to go, we're starting in Seattle. We're going to cruise the St. Stephen's Passage. We're going to Juneau, Glacier Bay, Icy Strait Point. I don't know where that is, but it sounds cold. That's why we're going in July, folks. Sitka, Ketchikan, Victoria, BC, which is a beautiful city, and then back to Seattle. So a week long, we'll have a lot of fun. We'll have little cocktail parties, and then I'll do a lecture, and we'll do some stuff. Cruise, CRUISE.twit.tv. Might see grizzly bears. You might. Jody on the line from Los Angeles. Not promising. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hey, Leo, can you hear me all right?
I hear you, Jody. How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's good to hear your voice as always.
Always nice to talk to you.
Appreciate your help in advance.
Of course.
Thank you. The last time we spoke, it's been probably a couple of years, I was doing a big 3D medical project, shooting multiple 3D cameras.
Oh, wow.
Shooting knee replacement surgeries for surgeons.
How interesting. How interesting.
They're in person.
So they'd get a 3D model, they'd be able to rotate around it and so forth?
No, actually, we were shooting actual surgery with 3D cameras, and they would block it with 3D glasses, and we shot it with 4 different sets of 3D cameras, different angles, so we could cut to whichever angle was the most interesting as being narrated by the surgeon. So it was kind of the next best thing to standing there right over the surgeon's shoulder watching this new procedure.
So was this for training purposes?
It was, yeah.
Oh, how cool.
Yep. Yeah, it's a new technology where they custom make a knee replacement for you with your name on it, as opposed to taking measurements and then pulling one off the shelf. It's pretty close.
That's good.
So,
I'm going to keep that in mind. And kids, take care of your knees, because it's the first thing to go.
Exactly right. Hey, two questions for today, completely unrelated. And I wish I was in a place where I could take notes, but I had to run out, so I'll look at the...
yeah, we'll put them in the show notes, of course. We always do that, yeah.
The first one is, I'm on a Mac, and I've been using its calendar application for a long time. And my phone is a Samsung Galaxy Note 9 Plus, and it has its own native calendar app. And for the longest time, I've had no issues with those two calendars automatically syncing with each other. So if I enter something in one, it automatically updates on the other. But that's stopped happening, and I cannot figure for the life of me how to make that happen. And I have done tremendous amounts of Google research and finally decided I would call Leo and wait on hold and hear from the what's the expression they like to use? It's not guru. It's
Ice Station Leo, apparently, is what I'm calling myself now. I don't know. So you're on, tell me which platform you're on.
It's a Mac OS, and it's gosh, and I'm so sorry that I'm not.
So you're using the iCloud. You're using the built-in Mac calendar.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And what do you want it to? Do you want it to sync between your phone and your Mac, or you want to sync to another calendar program?
No, both ways. And previously, when I entered anything on one, it would automatically.
Yeah, it should be doing that.
On the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it didn't matter. I could put an entry on my Mac on a certain date, and bang, it's on my phone, or vice versa. And now that's stopped. They absolutely won't sync. And I go to the settings on my phone, sync now. Nothing happens. I do the same thing on my Mac. Go to calendar app, sync now. I have not intentionally changed anything, so I don't know what the heck.
Yeah, but you know how things change. You do updates and all of, you've updated iOS, right. You've updated macOS, I'm sure, so things might get messed up. Certainly, the first thing to do is make sure your phone is still syncing and that it's syncing the calendars you want. You can say which calendars are synced, and you want to sync everything. And make sure it's syncing all events, or you could say how far back. Let me just think what else could be going on. On the Mac, you'll want to make sure that your calendar is syncing to iCloud, because that's how it does this, through iCloud.
Okay.
And make sure your iCloud account is active. Have you logged into iCloud.com lately? Actually, that's the first thing I would do. Log into iCloud.com. There is a calendar there. And see if the stuff that you want is on that calendar.
Okay.
That'll tell you something right away. If it isn't, then you want to make sure that both the phone and the Mac are connecting to iCloud properly. Check your accounts. Make sure the iCloud account is proper. Apple, I think probably for security reasons, from time to time changes things. They may have turned on two-factor. There may have been things that have happened. So that's probably the first thing to do is make sure both the phone and the Mac are connected to iCloud. And then on the Mac, when you look at the iCloud, you can see which things are synchronizing and make sure the calendar is synchronizing. I synchronize everything, address book, calendar, notes, everything, email. So make sure those are all turned on. But I would think the first step would be go to iCloud.com and see what that calendar looks like. See if it's got everything.
Okay, because that's where that happens. It's Samsung phone. It's syncing to iCloud.
Ah, I'm sorry. I thought you said an iPhone. It's a Samsung phone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Samsung
Okay.
Galaxy Note 9.
So now you got to look at the Samsung phone and see where it's getting its data from. What I would suggest in that case, iCloud's fine if you're all Mac, but since you have an Android device, I would suggest you set up Google Calendar. Do you have a Gmail account or a Google account?
I do, yeah.
So if you go to calendars.google.com, you'll see your calendar. You can set up that account on your Mac, and when you go in there, make sure calendar is checked as something that's synchronizing. That means your Mac will synchronize with Gcal, which you want because Gcal now is the connector. Yeah, see, that's the problem is you have Android and Mac OS. You want to make sure that Google Calendar, which is calendar.google.com, instead of going to iCloud, go there. See if it's got everything from the Mac. Make sure the Mac is synchronizing to that. And then set up the Samsung. All Android devices, if they're set up to work with Google, which they pretty much all are, Samsung has its own calendar app. I wouldn't use it. Make sure it's synchronizing with Google Calendar. And then that's the third party that's kind of intermediating and connecting the two together. That's kind of the best way to do that.
So it sounds like I need to download the Google.
You don't need to download it. No. Just make sure on your Samsung phone that you're synchronizing with your Google Calendar. It has Google's Calendar on there anyway, but you can use Samsung's. I'm pretty sure will also sync. And then make sure your Mac is also synchronizing with Google Calendar. You need some third party that's synchronizing with both the phone and the computer. And that's either iCloud if you're all Mac or all Apple. And if not, then I use Google for everything. That way, no matter what I'm using, synchronizes with Google. That should, somewhere that got disconnected. Should be easy to fix. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. More calls right after this. You're going, Big Island? All right. Yay, we have our first victim. I'm so excited. That's great. So excited. We're going to, I think we'll probably, I set up on the Discord. If you're in Discord, I did set up a channel for the cruise. Where is it? What did I put it? TWiT Cruise. So, yay. Welcome, James. Hey, we're on deck 7 aft, too. You'll be right next to us. Yeah, the travel store people are nice. Travel store people are very nice. So, but I should set up, we'll set up a channel on the forums. That's what I'll do. At twit.community, I'll set up a cruise channel there, too. Because I want everybody to get together to get to know each other before we go. So once we get on board, it's old friends. We'll all be friends. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, 8888. Ask Leo. That's the phone number. Langdon on the line from Missoula, Montana. Hello, Langdon.
Afternoon, sir.
Afternoon. How are you?
Better than I deserve.
I doubt that. I think you deserve a wonderful day.
I appreciate that. I was actually calling in reference to a call I was listening to you talk to earlier.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And it was about the TV soundbar, like where it was controlling the volume.
He would turn up the volume on his Verizon Fios system. He would change the channel on his Verizon's Fios system. And when he went up a channel, the sound bar, the Vizio soundbar, would turn up the sound. When he went down a channel, the Vizio soundbar would turn down the sound. So what's your solution?
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Did this happen to you?
Not per se. I just work in the industry. And so if you, he has to just go into the menu settings and then what is that, volume, and they can change it from variable to fixed.
Fixed volume, not variable.
And so he also wants to turn volume lock on. So go to fixed instead of variable and then turn volume lock on.
Cool. So the fixed and variable, usually when you're connected via optical to the TV, it's my memory that fixed and variable doesn't do much. It's always fixed for optical, right? Because the sound bar is controlling the volume, not the TV.
That's true, but with the remotes and how the system works, it will send both signals at the same time.
I see.
If you have it turned off,
I see.
It will still control.
I see. So you're telling the TV, hey, don't mess with the sound.
That's correct.
Is it a CEC issue? Because a lot of people thought it might be CEC getting involved.
That I'm not sure about.
Just set the volume to fixed. And what was the other setting?
Turn on volume lock.
Volume lock. Turn that on. Okay. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you, Langdon.
You're very welcome.
All right.
Well.
Yeah. You too. See, I love it. We have a great audience, smart people. And I can't answer everything, but there's pretty much nothing we can't solve. And we did find, the chat room also found a post on the Verizon forums that exactly duplicates this from last December. We've recently purchased a video soundbar, hooked it up to our Vizio TV through the audio relay channel. See, I think this is not that issue because they're using ARC. But we'll put a link to that in there as well. I love all the different solutions. First, take the batteries out of the remote for 5 minutes, then put them in. Unfortunately, that didn't work. Any other suggestions? Try deleting the remote, repairing with Fios. I think there's a lot of ideas about what happens here. 3 pages of this, but this is the first one I've heard of. Turn on fixed volume and volume lock. I like that. Seems like it'd be easy to try anyway. See if it fixes it. The final post on this thread from on the Verizon forums is Vizio's come out with a firmware update that seemingly fixes it. Okay, well, I should always mention that. In fact, just make a note of this. My answer will always begin with update everything. And now we can try to solve it. Update everything. Hi, Jan. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Jan, are you there? Hello, Jan. Hello, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Hello, Jan. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Oh, good. Thank you for taking my call. I really appreciate it. Recently bought an RV, and it's something that we don't use on a regular basis. And everything I've been researching is about people that are full-time RVers that have a modem or a router and to use the internet. And it's like it's a full-time thing. We just need something intermittently.
Right.
And I've been trying to use my cell phone, but it doesn't always work.
So there are 3 ways you can get online as you're driving around. Obviously, if you stop at KOAs or other campgrounds, they'll usually have Wi-Fi. Usually not very good, but at least there's something there. You could do what you're doing, which is hotspot your phone. Cell service isn't ubiquitous. It's not everywhere, but it's most places you go. And as long as your phone can get online, your laptops or whatever can get online using the phone. Sometimes it's a little slow because for some reason, I'm not sure why, maybe because the cellular companies don't want you to use too much bandwidth. The hotspotting is not as fast as it would be if you were, using it on your phone. And also costs you additionally. Usually there's an additional monthly fee to do hotspotting, but it's not too much. So that's another way to do it. And by the way, most cellular carriers will even sell devices. I call them MiFis. They're like little routers that get cell service, and then you can connect to them with more than one device, many devices, as if you've got Wi-Fi in the RV. But again, if your cell service isn't universal, if you're going places where there isn't cell service, it's not going to work very well. Most of the highways, the big roads, it'll work fine. There's cell service along all the highways. It's just when you pull off and you're going to Round Rocks or somewhere pretty, if you're on a campground, it might not be there. The third way to do it is with a satellite. You might see this sometimes when you see RVs going down the road. They've got what looks like dishes. A number of the companies that sell satellite internet have RV dishes. Now, almost all of them have to be aimed. So some of them will have. Most of them won't work while you're driving, although you can spend extra and have one that tries to aim as you drive. Then there have some that will, once you park somewhere, you'll press a button and it'll automatically find the signal and aim itself. And then some you have to manually aim. All of them need a view of the southern sky. That's typically how these, whether it's Hughes or there's a whole bunch of them. Satellite. Now, there's a little more expensive. The equipment's expensive. The latest thing with satellite, which is kind of intriguing to me and I think might be a great solution for RVers, is Elon Musk's company, Starlink. Now, this isn't cheap, but Starlink is $400 for the gear and then $99 a month, but it's very high speed. It's all over most of the country, and they have a really interesting dish. They call it Dishy McDishface, literally. That's the name of it. But you have to get it somewhere where there's nothing blocking the sky at all. So put it up on, maybe you get a pole that's extensible, put it up high, because trees or whatever will interrupt as the satellites are moving, you see. And the satellite dish itself follows the satellites. It automatically moves around. It's really cool. So that's the most expensive. It might be the fastest. I think Starlink is a very interesting solution. So you'll see all of those. If you look online, you'll see RVers recommending one or the other. They each have their pros and cons, but those are the 4 different ways you can do it. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Time to talk computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography. We got your smartphones. We got your smartwatches. We got all that jazz. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number. 888-827-5536. Toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. Outside that area, you could still call. Just use Skype or something like that. Give us a ring. 8888 Ask Leo. All of the stuff that we talk about ends up on the website, thanks to James DeRuvo, our official scribe. The website's free, no sign-up. Just go to techguylabs.com. techguylabs.com. Okay? Okay. Jan on the line from Santa Clarita, California, our next caller. Hi, Jan.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm okay. I tried calling you last week while I was in the car, and I totaled my car.
Oh, no.
I know.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you okay?
I'm fine, but...
Oh, Jan, I feel responsible. I'm so sorry.
No, it was my fault. It was my fault, totally.
Oh, man, I'm totally sorry.
No.
Well, I'm glad you survived. No injuries?
No.
I bet you're a little PTSD, though, right? It's hard to get back behind the wheel after an accident, I know.
Well, I called you using... I'm in the house now, but I called you using Siri today while I was driving, so...
I blame Siri. It's Siri's fault. She did it. She drove the car into the wall. Well, I'm glad you're okay, Jan.
Thank you.
Now, I feel like I really better help you here.
I have two HP Envy laptops. My new one, my grandkids stepped on and broke the screen and the hinge and everything.
Oh, those darn grandkids.
I know. So I tried to fire up my old one, and I can get onto it comes up, but it's asking me for a password. I guess it's a Windows password that I had maybe 5 years ago.
Oh, no. You don't remember it?
No.
So it's a pretty old machine. So there's the password to log into Windows, and in the old days that was it. That was what you used it for, and it might have been the name might have been Jan or something. Then there is exactly. Okay, so it's that one, because the more modern Windows, they try to get you to use your Microsoft account, and then it would be something like jan@outlook.com, and that's recoverable.
Yeah. I tried that. It's Windows 8. I don't know if that makes a difference.
Oh, okay.
But I tried that, and it with my new
with your Microsoft account.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't work. No.
Right.
It wants the password you set up way back when.
Yes, sir.
Log in Jan and then the password, and you have no idea what that is.
No.
So there's a couple of choices. There are ways to crack Windows passwords. They're not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And, usually it involves running a password cracking program like PC Unlocker. You have to it's complicated. It's kind of hackerish. You have to make a disk and boot to the disk and have the cracker run and then Is there anything on that computer you really want?
Yeah, it's all my files.
Oh, crud.
It's the Windows that I actually paid for instead of the subscription Windows.
That's not going to be too much of a problem. It's really the data that's on there, because the easiest thing to do would be just to reinstall Windows, start over on this computer, which you could easily do without that login.
Will it destroy everything?
Well, but probably. Because they're trying to protect you, because if somebody got your laptop, you wouldn't want them to be able to just, reinstall Windows and get all your stuff.
Yeah.
So pretty much it's going to wipe the drive and reinstall Windows. So you really want to save that, huh? There's something on there you need? Okay. This is why we back up. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I moved and I can't find it.
Yeah. Oh, you have a backup at your move? Yeah. All right. So like I said, there are a number of different ways to do it involving password cracking utilities.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of hackerish because you have to create a boot disk and run it off the boot disk, and It's not easy with Windows 8, to be honest with you, but it can be done.
Okay.
I would just Google crack Windows 8 login, and you'll see a lot of them. Try to stay away from the ones that look like they might be a little sketch.
Right.
If you can find an article on a relatively credible website or whatever, there are a lot of them. And unfortunately, when you do that Google search, which I just did, you find links to all of the companies that sell these. Usually at great expense. Look on YouTube. You'll see on YouTube there's a number of people, normal people, who have put videos. I'm looking at one by a guy named Hack O'Brien. Probably not his real name.
I like it.
Yeah. How to bypass Windows 8.1 password of any user account. Just take a look at some of these. I would go through it on the air for you, but it's a number of steps and it's kind of complicated. Okay. Honestly, unless you really can't find the backups, the easiest thing to do would really be to wipe the thing and start over.
Okay, if I do wipe it and start over, and I find my backup, how do I do that?
Well, that's easy. Then you're golden because you've got it, right? Now, somebody, Scooter X in the chat room is posting. If it's not BitLocker encrypted, which I'm sure it's not. Cover Windows 8 password in safe mode. Built-in administrator account. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Some computers, and I bet you that Envy is one of them, have a hidden administrator account that you can also use to change the login for your other account. Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll put a few links in the show notes to various ways to do it. I'm gonna let the chat room come up with a couple of ways to do it. It's hackery.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's hackery. The idea is they don't.
Good at that.
Yeah. Oh, good. Get your daughter to do it. Is it her child that stepped on the other one?
Oh yeah.
Well, then get her to do it. Yeah. You owe me. How old is the grandkid?
It's either the 8-year-old or the 9-year-old.
Well, the mother's definitely responsible. So your daughter ought to fix this for you. Maybe, I have to say, maybe it's time to get a new computer, too. You might want to think about that. But you do have stuff on there you don't want to lose, and I get that.
Yeah, and I just bought a new one. That's the one they wrecked.
Oh, nuts.
Yeah, so...
Is the stuff that you wanted on the new one?
No.
No.
Are you kidding? I'm not. I don't think that far ahead.
I am sorry. Is the car totaled?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, man. Is insurance going to take care of it?
They're going to total it.
Oh, they'll send you a little check saying, based on our careful calculations, that car's worth $142.
Yeah, you know it.
Oh, Jan, I'm so sorry. I'm just glad you're okay.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad I got to talk to you today. I trust everything you have to say, and I'm really thankful for your help. And I will go to the website and see what. Yeah, we'll put some
reliable links. There's a number of ways to do this. Basically, it's going to involve booting up from a USB key, running the program, the PC crack program, and it'll go through a lot of passwords, and it'll eventually unlock it for you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Jan. I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault. You have a great day.
All right, you too. Please, folks, don't call me in the car. Please. Wow. The Discord server is telling me their password resets CD-ROMs. You can get them, and you boot up to it, and it removes the password. I don't remember if Windows 8 had a really secure password system or not. I think it did. Earlier versions of Windows were pathetic, and then Microsoft got the message, and everybody else went, "I can't log in anymore." Who are you gonna call? Ghost Buster. No, that's not that song. Leo Laporte. I'm just kidding. It has that same synthesizer-y thing in it, though. Spencer in Chino, California. Hi, Spencer.
Hey, Leo. How's it going?
It's great. How are you?
Not too bad. Enjoying the nice sunny weather.
Well, good for you. It is beautiful. If I could go outside of the studio, I would. Actually, I'm going in about 20 minutes.
Right.
What can I do for you today?
Okay, so my girlfriend has the iPhone S.
Yes?
Not the SE, but the older one.
The old S.
And,
yes.
Yeah. And so what happened was I had logged into my iCloud account or my Apple ID.
Okay.
To use my credit card on her phone. And so I bought the 50 gigs of storage for my phone, thinking that it was using the same Apple ID that it would use for her. It would back up her phone also.
No.
It did not.
Yeah, it only back up the You know what you got to do? Put her on your family plan.
Okay.
How much do you like her?
Enough.
So it's tied to the account. So you bought it, but you can't gift it to her. You could have bought her a gift card and given her the $50. But if you want it on your credit card is associated with your account, it applies only to your account unless you add her to the family plan. So get her in your family. That way, when you buy an app, buy music, buy a TV show or a movie, all of that is available to her. There are very few things that don't actually work on the family plan. And in fact, you might even want to look at getting an Apple One subscription, which gives you all of the stuff. The family plan, it's $35 a month, but you get a lot of stuff for that. And if she shares it with you, you get Apple TV Plus, you get fitness, you get iCloud storage, all that stuff. So you should look at the different plans. But if you just want to have a 50 gigabyte iCloud so she can back up her phone, you can just share. I think you can share what you bought with her right now.
Okay. So the other issue is her phone. Like she got to a point where it said she couldn't receive text messages because the storage was.
She's out of room. Yeah.
Okay. So then it duplicated a bunch of the pictures and then it shut the phone off.
Oh, great! Thanks. Yeah. When computers get low on storage, they act funny. That's the technical term. That phone is acting funny now. So you want to get stuff off of it. First thing to do is very easy. I bet she has a lot of pictures on there, right?
Well, hang on. So we can't get the phone to turn back on.
Oh.
And what we were told is it's the processor. Like the processor went out. Essentially, is what we were told.
Well, if that's the case, it has nothing to do with storage. It's just dead.
So it's just dead in the water. There's nothing.
Well, I don't know because I'm not holding it right now. Take it. There are a lot of now. You don't have to bring it to Apple anymore. A lot of guys really good know what they're doing at iPhone repair stores all over the place. I'm sure there's one near you in Chino. Take it in, and he can quickly do a diagnostic and or take it to the Apple store if you want to go with the pros, and they can do a diagnostic and tell you exactly what's wrong with it. It's a 6S, a 5S, a 4S. What's the number before the S?
Oh, I want to say it's a 5S.
Okay, so it's a little old.
No, it's a 6S.
6S, yeah. The 6S is probably the oldest I would recommend at this point. Right. Because I think with the 6S, you can still get a fairly recent iOS on it. That's what's going to happen is it's going to get older and older, which means, you won't be able to get the modern iOS on it. And so pretty soon you're going to say, I need to get a new phone just so I can get an updated. But I think the 6S is the last one that you can get iOS 14 on. So that's yeah. In fact, guess what? Even iOS 15, the new one coming out this fall, will work on it. But then that's going to be it, probably.
To do a diagnostic on it, doesn't the phone need to be able to turn on?
No, they have tricks.
Okay.
They have things they can do. So, yeah, I would take, the best place to take is an Apple store. They're very nice. They don't, even though that's long out of warranty, they can at least give you an idea of what can have, whether they can.
Because all we want off of it is the pictures.
Yeah. So in future, turn on iCloud photo storage, especially, I know why you wanted the iCloud, so that she could do that. Right. So you can make her part of your family, then she'll have access to that 50 gigabytes. she'll be sharing it with you, but if you're not using a lot of it, then she'll have access to it. And then next time have her turn on iCloud photo storage, and then it'll all be on the iCloud. It might be. You should log on to her iCloud account just to see. It might have already been.
So I logged in with my information, and so I feel I use the same password, but when I go to do that, it only brings up my phone's stuff.
Yeah, you're logged into it as yours. So Apple doesn't let you do more than one account on the phone. So as soon as you put your account on there, you see your stuff. If you log out, disconnect your iCloud, and she connects it. But she can go to a computer right now, go to iCloud.com with her login. I would do that. Maybe, cross your fingers, her pictures will be up there.
I hope so, but I don't think it. I don't know because she doesn't have it. Yeah, she
get 5 gig. You get 5 gigs of storage free. So, she may already have some up there.
Right.
I'd check.
But the login was the same. Is the thing. That's the kicker. Is it
the email or the password?
The email.
Oh well, that's the same account. That's the account.
Right, on 2 phones.
That's fine. You can do that.
Okay, so if I did use a different password, I don't remember it.
Ah. So now you got another problem.
Yeah, this phone's got a lot of issues, and it's caused a lot of headache for me since this issue has arose.
Yeah. Take it to an iPhone repair place and see if they can get the data off of it.
Okay.
That would be your first thing. At that point, they can reset it, start fresh, and see if there's anything else wrong with it. It might just simply be that. If it's dead and, they really want to get the data off of it, then they can copy it to a new phone.
Okay.
But I would have her log into her iCloud account and just see if the photos are there. Who knows? Stranger things have happened. That would be a happy ending, wouldn't it? 8888 Ask Leo. The GizWiz coming up in 15. More calls right after this. Stay right here. Leo Laporte. I'm a dog. The tech guy. Radio show has a website, because what kind of tech guy would be without a website? Although the kids nowadays, I don't think the kids care about websites, do they? They want to know what my Insta is. What's your Insta? What's your TikTok, old man? No, I know. I got a website, techguylabs.com. It is useful, though, much more so than my twitch.tv channel or my Insta would be, because that's where the answers to all the questions live. techguylabs.com. It's free. There's no sign up. Just go there, and what we do is every show is on that page. All 1,804 of them. This is episode 1804. James is writing it all down right now, putting it up there. Every show is divided into 3 hours, 1, 2, and 3, because there's 3 hours to the show. Every hour divided into segments, 1, 2, 3, and 4, so you can go right to that part. 15-minute chunks, you can go right to that part of the show, and then there will be the question and the answer in text. And then later in the week, we're going to put up the audio and video from the show, so you could even listen to me and answer the question or whatever. Plus, there's a comment section, which means you can say, Leo, you're wrong, or I got a better idea, or that kind of thing. And all that's free. Just go to techguylabs.com. There's a pretty good search there, too, so you can find stuff from old shows and so forth. Bobby is next on the line from San Diego. Hi, Bobby.
Hello. How are you?
I am great. How are you?
Well, I'm good, and I hope you could help me out.
Okay.
So, I am in high school, and the school year ends in a couple days. And over the past, I'd say maybe a month or so, my computer has been, I don't know if it's deleting them or my assignments are going missing. So,
did your dog eat your homework again? Does the teacher buy that? No. So there's no reason for you to lie to me. I'm not going to give you a grade, so I believe you. The teacher isn't gonna, but I believe you. Right. So you're writing, it's on the hard drive, and then you go back there and it's gone.
Well, It usually is happening with Google Docs.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'll do my assignment, I'll fully complete it, I'll turn it in, and then 2 to 3 days later, it'll show up as unsubmitted. And I think to myself, I can just go press resubmit and I'll be fine. But I go click on the document and it's just completely wiped. I check editing history, I press undo, I check the files of the computer, and I can't find anything.
How frustrating. I'm bad enough that you got to do remote school.
Yeah.
You got to do all that Zooming.
Yeah.
And now you do the work and it's disappearing on you. That is very frustrating.
3/4 of all my work is gone.
You're using Google Classroom?
No, we're using a thing called Canvas.
Canvas.
Yeah.
So, but it's a school account, right?
Yes, sir.
I would ask, I don't know if the school has an IT person.
They do, and they said to call Google.
No, because Canvas is not Google. Canvas is its own thing.
But the thing is, they think, and I think it's more of the Google Docs problem.
Well, calling Google it's not going to do anything.
Exactly.
There's nobody at Google. You're going to get a Python script. It's going to you can't get some. So does the school have a Google account, or do you have is it your account or the school's account?
Well, it's my account that the school set up for me. The
school said it is a school account then.
Yeah.
So the school might have a way to get through to Google because they're using Google Classroom probably. They're using Google for Schools.
Right.
But so I get it. So you submit it through Canvas.
Mm-hmm.
And Canvas understands Google Docs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you don't have to download a file and then upload it to Canvas. You just say, hey, no, this is it.
Yeah, they work with each other.
Okay. So it's not getting through. It sounds like it's not getting through to Canvas. Like you're pressing submit and it's just not getting there. And somehow Google Docs has decided, well, I guess the Google Docs should never do that, by the way. One of the things that's great about Google Docs is, unless you explicitly throw it out, it's going to still be there. Even if you delete it, it goes into the trash and you can recover it.
Exactly, which is why this is really confusing.
It's frustrating. And it doesn't show up in your history?
No, not at all. I'll go even into the editing history of the document, and it'll only show me the day that the document was created. And that's it. I mean, I've written multiple essays that were worth 100, 150 points. And they're just gone now.
Oh, it's so frustrating.
I have 6 days to do 40 assignments.
Oh, I'm so sorry. This really stinks.
Yeah.
Bobby, this is a nightmare.
It's okay.
No, you're being very nice about it. It's not okay. This is terrible. I don't know. You shouldn't have to. Why is my assignments folder from Canvas missing in my drive? All right, Scooter X, who is really the genius of Googling in our chat room, has come up with something. I've gone into Canvas settings, paired and authenticated Google Drive. I've authorized Google Drive. I'm able to search and access individual students. I wonder if Canvas is clobbering. It must be saying, all right, you submitted it, I'm going to delete it. You look and see if there's a setting in Canvas that does that, because that would be wrong.
Right. And I mean, I'm not really super big on technology, but I've kind of noticed that on Canvas, the little button that you press to submit is never in the same spot.
Oh, that's crazy.
So in my mind, I mean, I'm probably wrong, but what I think is, I press the button, and it kind of, since it's never in the same spot, it doesn't really recognize what I'm asking to do.
That could be. You think you're pressing the button, but it's not. It's just where you see the button, but it's not what Canvas wants. What a mess. How sympathetic is the IT guy at school?
Well, I mean, I guess they're only as sympathetic as they can be, because there's nothing they really can do. They just told me that as long as I get the assignments in, and they'll grade them, and that's basically it.
That you're on your own.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This is why remote has been such a nightmare.
That is true.
So all I can say is print them next time.
Okay.
Before you do anything, when you write your assignment, print it out. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the answer is. We're going to keep working on it. I'm not going to let you down, Bobby, because that stinks.
Yeah.
Somebody might come up with something. I would keep looking in your Google Docs. Maybe it's in a different folder. Google Docs should not be erasing it, period.
Exactly. That's
so I would just keep scouring around inside your account to see if you can find it. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Oh, that just stinks. We got some school IT guys in the chat. One of them says, "I'm a school IT guy. Not sympathetic at all." I guess I'm not sure if he's mad or not. I feel so bad for you. This really stinks, Bobby.
Yeah.
What is going on? What is going on? I feel like it's something to do with Canvas. Like Canvas is deleting it or something.
Right. And this has happened to many of my friends as well, but not to the extent that I'm experiencing it. So they've lost maybe 10 or so, and I've lost like 40, 50.
Oh, Bobby, I am so sorry. That stinks. Do you want me to write a note to your teacher, Bobby? I'm gonna say, Bobby is a great guy, and you know what? Don't blame him. Blame Google.
Yeah.
You've looked through. You're sure it's not on your drive. You've looked in every folder.
Oh, I'm 100%.
Yeah,
sure.
you looked in the trash.
Yeah. At this little search bar at the top of Google Docs or
you search for the title and
I'll search for that.
Yeah.
And it's not even on the files like the storage of the actual computer. So it's not on the computer, but it's not on the Google Cloud. So I think it's kind of in this like middle space. It's there.
Did you set up Google assignments in Canvas?
I don't. You mean like it's a setting where
Canvas is changing. They're getting rid of the Google Docs way of doing it that they're doing it now. Maybe that's a hint that it wasn't working too well.
Maybe.
And they are changing it. Somebody put a link in the show notes to a Canvas. This is going to happen September 1st. It was supposed to happen. Oh, now they're pushing it out. It sounds like there's kind of a mess between Google and Canvas.
Mm-hmm.
There's this new Google Assignments LTI tool, which is for your teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, I don't know. I just don't know. There's no way in the world. Oh, here you go. Here's one from support.google.com. Assignments show as missing on Canvas, although they've already been submitted and returned. This happens when the linking to the files is broken. What element? I don't know. This isn't helpful.
Is it possible that there's like a short or something wrong with the computer where...
No.
No?
It's not the computer, but there is a short. There's something wrong, but it's with Canvas and Google and their integration. And I think what's happening is it's deleting it. So from now on, when you do an assignment, before you submit it, save it as a PDF. Save it outside of Google.
That's a good idea.
Print it somewhere, put it on your hard drive so you have a copy of it.
Right.
Then submit it, because I think here's what I really think is happening is Canvas is deleting it.
Mm-hmm.
Canvas is saying, got it, no problem, gonna delete it, which is stupid.
Right.
And it didn't get it. And it's deleted. So you really got the short end on that one. That's terrible.
Yeah.
From now on, but I know that doesn't help you for the last 40 assignments. Gosh, I'm sorry, Bobby. What grade are you in?
I'm a freshman.
Oh, man, the worst. Well, hey, good news. You'll probably get to go back to school next year, and teachers will find new ways to mess with you. I got to run, Bobby. I'm sorry. We'll keep listening. We'll see if we can find something for you, okay?
Well, thank you very much.
All right. Take care. God, I feel terrible. That's 2 in a row. First I caused a car crash, and then Bobby's lost his assignments. Hello, Dick.
Hey, Leo. How you doing?
It'll be easier. Matt says, Bobby, it'll be easier next time you're a freshman. Year 2. Wasn't he a sweet guy? He was a nice kid, and I just feel like, fame. Hello, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Everybody dance. Burnin', burnin', burnin'. It's time for Dick DeBartolo, Mad Magazine's maddest writer, and our gizmo wizard. Isn't that Do you remember it being in 9th grade, Dick? It's a long time ago, I know.
Yeah, it is. I'm not sure. 10th grade, I remember because that was just 2 years ago I finished that.
But 9th, it's so long.
It was so long ago. I did that in just 4 years, so...
I just feel, being a freshman in high school is bad enough, but then there's COVID. He's got to do the whole thing on Zoom. And then the computer's eating his homework, and I'm sure the teacher goes, yeah, right, Bobby. Sure, Bobby.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Try another excuse.
Yeah.
So the dog didn't eat it. Oh, so the computer ate it.
The new one. Dick joins us every week with a little gizmo or a gadget. He's our gizmo wizard, the Giz Wiz. What do you got for us this week?
Well, it's get out your wallet time for you.
Uh-oh. Something I'm going to love?
I think so. It's from Anker. We all know Anker. We
just bought an Anker dock, actually. I love Anker.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, these just came out, and the one you want, I think they said is shipping July 5th. They have those little nano charges.
Yeah, they're based on the gallium nitride technology.
Yes, exactly.
Very cool.
So these are the Nano 2s. Do you already have you could.
I do. The PowerPoint,
have the 2s
or whatever
already?
It's called. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, I have one right here.
This guy?
I don't have the 2s yet. No, I have the 1s.
Oh, no,
I have the original.
Oh my gosh! Oh, and you call yourself a tech guy.
Oh yeah, I gave it to my daughter, so it's just in time to get the new ones.
Just in time. Oh, yeah. Okay, all right. So the new, and also I think they are much less money than I recall before. All right, so there's a new Nano 2, a 30 watt, a 45 watt, a 65.
So what this gallium nitride technology does, it lets them make chargers that are cooler and smaller than the equivalent power previously. And it's really cool technology. I love gallium nitride technology. So these are the Nano 2s? Is that what it is?
The Nano 2, right. And the 30 and the 45 watt are shipping, I think, the middle of June, so they should be shipping any day now.
Yeah.
And I believe the 65 watt, which is probably what you want, is going to start shipping July 5th.
Okay.
But Leo, they start at $30.
Good.
The 45 watt is $36.
Nice.
And the 65 watt is $39.99, $40.
Nice.
So
yeah, 65 is what you want for a laptop.
Absolutely.
And the 30 watt would be fine for a phone.
Well, it's
or
an
iPad.
MacBook Air and the Pixel Book.
Yeah, I'd get a higher wattage. It'll charge faster.
You're talking $4.
Yeah. Spend the money. Go crazy.
Exactly. So you're looking for Nano 2, and the littlest guy, the 30 watt, does not have a foldable plug.
Oh, well,
so
that's how they get you.
If you're going to travel, get the 2.
These are great. They're so
ones.
small. I don't know. They're the size of they're like a square golf ball is about the size.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
And also, can I ask a tech question?
Okay. But I can't help you if your computer ate your homework.
No, my computer didn't eat my homework because I never did it. Because that was my fear.
Well, no, that's the idea. You don't have to do it. You just say the computer ate it.
Yeah, well, that's it. Okay, I'm an analyst because I'm afraid the computer's going to eat my homework, so I don't do it.
I don't like computers with big, scary teeth.
Here's my quickie question.
Yes.
When I'm watching television, I ask Google information on my phone. It answers it on the speaker in my bathroom.
I hate it when it does that. I know.
Is there a way to say, stupid, I'm holding the phone?
No.
I don't want to go in.
It's supposed to do it based on where it can hear you the clearest, where your voice is the loudest. But it's apparently very confused.
Walking into my phone.
I know. Mine does the same thing. It's incredibly annoying. In fact, it's funny. Mine's in the bathroom too, and I'm talking to it. It does, but Echo does it. Siri, they all do.
Oh,
it.
they all do. Oh, okay.
They're supposed to kind of, well, you're louder here, so it must be. But I don't know. I don't know why. And there might be a way. I don't know. Is there a way to say to the speaker, answer me on my phone? No, I don't think so.
No, I tried that.
Yeah.
It said, I don't understand that. Ask
What are you
Leo.
talking about?
Actually, I'm saying, what year was so-and-so movie released?
Yeah.
And it'll answer it in the bathroom. Now, if it's a simple question, it also comes up on the screen.
Right.
But she gives a much more detailed answer over the speaker.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Chat room is on this one as well. They're good. And here it is from support.google.com. If you're near your Google Home device and phone, only Google Home should respond to, hey, you know who.
That's what's happening.
Both devices may wake up, but your phone should go back to sleep. On your phone, open the Google app. What? But you want it to talk to your phone.
Yeah.
This is telling you how to get it to do what it's doing. This is not helpful, chat room. You're telling it how to do it the other way. And you're using an Android phone, right?
Exactly.
On your phone, open the Google app. At the bottom right of the home screen, tap more, settings, about. Look for the version number at the top. If your version is below 6.5, update it. Then add the same account to both devices. Then talk to Google Home. Say, hey, you know who. Your phone shouldn't respond. Talk to your phone. See if your phone has the Google Assistant. When you're at home, follow the steps below. Choose the phone you use. When you're not at home, say, hey, you know who. I don't understand it, but I'll give you this link. It doesn't seem helpful. It doesn't seem helpful to me.
No.
It's like, yeah, this is I'm telling you, all of Google support is really just a Python script. It's it's a computer script. It's not no human involved.
No human interference.
Now, if you have a button that will trigger the assistant, on some phones you press the on/off button. On some Google phones you squeeze the bottom, and that triggers it. It should then answer you on that device. Have you tried that?
Because I got the phone from Amazon.
Oh,
that button. Yes, my last phone had that button. My new phone has that button, but it doesn't work on an Amazon purchase.
Dumb.
Yeah, because they want you to use their own system.
Yeah, Amazon doesn't like it. Folks, here's this guy. His name is Dick DeBartolo. His website is GizWiz.biz, GizWiz.biz. There's a link. If you click the button that says the GizWiz visits the tech guy, there's a link to those Anker chargers. But there's so much more there, including Mad Magazine memorabilia, Matchcam memorabilia, and the What the Heck Is It contest. You have until the end of this month to guess what this close-up picture of a gadget is. You get it right, you're in the drawing for some number of, I think, 6 or 8 Mad magazines autographed by this guy here. You get it wrong, there's twice as many autographed by this guy here, but you got to be clever. Anyway, all the rules are on the website. Go play the What the Heck Is It contest. Dick also has a great podcast at GizWiz.tv with the old redhead himself, Chad Johnson. Thank you, Dickie
The old
D.
natural redhead.
That's a natural color. Yeah, nuclear red. Thank you, Dickie. We'll talk again next week. Yes, sir. Wow, time goes fast when you're having fun and helping high school freshmen get their homework back. Wow. Thanks, Professor Laura, our musical director, Kim Schaffer, our phone angel. Thanks to you for joining me. Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy. Have a great Geek Week. Well, that's it for the Tech Guy Show for today. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, TWiT, T-W-I-T. It stands for This Week in Tech, and you'll find it at twit.tv, including the podcasts for this show. We talk about Windows on Windows Weekly, Macintosh on MacBreak Weekly, iPads, iPhones, Apple Watches on iOS Today, security on Security Now. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And, of course, the big show every Sunday afternoon, This Week in Tech. You'll find it all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next week with another great Tech Guys show. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.